Okay, so one of the first things you have to be able to do before you can fill out a 1040 easy or any 1040 forms, which are your tax or income tax forms, is you have to be able to figure out how much taxes you actually owe. In order to do that, you're going to be reading a tax table. The tax table is going to take into account your taxable income and then tell you what your tax liability, which is how much you owe the government, is going to be. So here is what a tax table looks like. And you will see as I scroll down that the numbers are really small and it is broken up by 1,000. So you'll see 1,000, 2,000, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so forth. The reason I'm pointing this out is because when you get a tax table, the first thing you're going to do to figure out how much you owe is to find out your whole thousand number. So if you have a taxable income of $30,000, you're going to go all the way down to the $30,000 box, and then you're only really looking at this box. The entire table then is irrelevant to you other than this box. So I wanted to point out the fact of how the actual form is broken up so that you know where to start looking to find your tax liability. Here I have, let me move me over, I have blown, or there is a tax table that is blown up so it's a little bit easier for you to see. I want to explain to you the different parts of the tax table so that you understand what you are looking at and you understand how to find out what your tax liability is. So here, this is the table for $46,000. And if I'm looking across the top, it says if taxable income is at least but less than. These two distinctions are very, very important. I'm going to come back to them to show you why understanding at least and but less than is important in figuring out your tax liability. Over here, it talks about how you are filing. So there's 4 ways that you can file your taxes. You have single, married filing jointly, so your 2 people are filing one tax return. Married filing separately, so you are 2 people filing your own tax forms. Or head of household. These are for families that might be living together but are not married. So you have, so sorry, the lights went out. So you have head of household where they are living together but not married. And if one person is providing more than 50% of the welfare or the well-being of the other person, then you can claim head of household. So let's look more closely at the important words, the at least but less than. If I said that my taxable income was $46,159, I would come and see where does that fall. So 1,000 or $46,159 falls in between these two numbers. So that's really easy to find out. If I'm single, I fall in between this range. I owe the government $7,258. So that's really easy. I just find out where my taxable income falls in between which 2 numbers and then find out if I'm single, married filing jointly, married filing separately, or head of household. So that's not where those descriptors come into play. If I said that I make $46,250, so I look at my chart and I come down and I say, well, this says 46,200, 46,250, but the next line also says 46,250. So which line do I owe? Do I owe 700, 200, or $7,295 or $7,308? Which one do I go to if they both have the number 250 in them? Well, that's where the at least and but less than comes into play. If I said that my taxable income was $46,250, at least means that I make at least that amount, but less than means I make under that amount. So in this bracket, if it says 46,250 and it's in the less than column, then that really means that this is going to be 46,249. So I would go down to the next column and it says I at least make 46,250. So my tax liability is going to fall in between these two numbers, which means that the number that I am going to owe is 7,308. So when you are reading a tax table, you are going to find where your number falls in between the range. If it's evenly in between the range, somewhere in between the two numbers, then you can just take the number in that column. If it falls evenly on a number, it's an 200 or a 250, a 50 or a 100, you need to look at the at least but less than. If you fall and it's 46,150, and that's how much I make, then really I'm coming down to the next column because the one before it is less than 150. So please make sure that you're paying attention to what the number is to find out where it falls.